versus the New York Jets.
76,000 fans, another sellout at Giants Stadium. The Jets and the Dolphins. Sunny skies, brisk weather, temperature in the 40s, and winds gusting to 30. In the AFC East, Miami with 5 straight wins, tied with Buffalo atop. They beat the Bills earlier this year, and the Jets, with 2 wins in their last 2 outings, have a chance to go 5-5 with an upset today. If they do, they can entertain real hopes of a possible wild card later on. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Don Shula has built a new defense, concentrating on stopping the run.
Well, they have stopped the run thus far. Not playing great opponents, but playing with intensity. Really, this team's playing more like a championship team than any I've seen since 1984.
Dolphins leading the league, least yardage allowed, least points allowed, and the most sacks. The wind today, you heard it rustling through the microphone of Bruce Coslett on NFL Live. How will it impact today's play?
Well, it's bound to. It's going to gust up to maybe 40 miles an hour. This is a coach's nightmare because all the subtle decisions you have to make during a game. 3rd and 3, do you pass or run? Do you go for the long field goal? All kinds of things like that drive a coach crazy and a team crazy.
All right, yesterday we visited with the Jets. They've already matched last year's win total of 4. Bruce Coslett has an upbeat camp.
He really does. This camp is enthusiastic. They really work at it. They're following his lead. He's building everything it takes, but he really doesn't have the personnel yet. To win today, they're going to have to make a big play from out of nowhere, much as they've done the last 2 weeks.
And there is Coslett, who was hired by Paul Brown in the expansion days of the Cincinnati Bengals as a backup tight end, coached by Bill Walsh. And later it was Walsh who gave him his first coaching job in 1980 with San Francisco, then moved to Cincinnati the next year. Don Shula, second winningest coach of all time. It has to make you pleased for this 60-year-old giant of the game that he once again has a top grade team. 7-1. How good are they? Their only loss was here in the Meadowlands to the Giants earlier this year, and the Giants handled them rather easily on another windy day, and Marino didn't throw well. We'll see how he does today. Stoyanovich, who has not missed a field goal all season long, will kick it off to the Jets, and Terrence Mathis and Don Odegaard, 2 speedsters, are back. Mathis, the man who returned a punt 98 yards for a touchdown last week, and he takes it at the 5. And down at the 20-yard line. And here come the green jersey Jets and number 7 quarterback Ken O'Brien. Criswell and Hayden, Iowa connection on the left side. Sweeney at center. Maddich and Miller, the right side of the offensive line in front of O'Brien. Blair Thomas, the Penn State #1 draft pick. Brad Baxter, a bull of a blocker. Toon and Moore, the outside receivers. Moore from Syracuse. Mark Boyer, tight end. He goes out along with those 2 backs, and they go to their 4 wide. Freeman McNeil comes in along with Chris Burkett and Terrence Mathis.
Dick, look for the Jets to throw on 1st down, hoping to catch this team off balance.
And it is O'Brien back to throw. And completes it to Al Toon. And the Music Man has a 1st down out at the 38-yard line, as Toon has now caught a pass in 71 consecutive games.
Crossing patterns, that seems to be the vogue in the NFL this year. People breaking across the field and finding the other side of the field, and zone defenders not seeing them coming. You'll see Toon coming across. Really, the defense couldn't respond to the side which he broke. Starting out very, very well, and I think O'Brien was able to get one off before that pressure got to him.
From the 38-yard line, these are the scripted plays of Coslett. It's a fullback back throw, fumbles, and a scramble in the Jets' backfield, and New York recovers. Oh, my. Might have been O'Brien himself, or Criswell. 61 Jeff Criswell, the left tackle, fell on that loose ball.
Coslett wants to establish a ground game, and I don't think he's going to get it done.
Criswell from Searsboro, Iowa, a town of 150 and a lot of cornfields.
You see a lot of people waiting for that ball. Everybody's there. Comes right out. And this is what we've been talking about with a new defense. The Jets were really lucky to have that ball bounce to them.
The loss of a couple. Delay and the give to Blair Thomas. He's to the 40, and that's all. And it's a swarming Dolphin defense.
Blair had to break completely away from his blocking.
Jeff Cross made that tackle. There's Turner, Lee, and Cross, the starting front 3 with Griggs, Offerdahl, Odom, and Green. Griggs and Odom give the Dolphins that physical kind of play that they have lacked the last few years. McKyer, the 49er, and Brown are at the corners, and the safeties, two young and two outstanding safeties in Williams and Oliver. And there's Jeff Cross, 9 sacks this year to lead Miami at 10.
Look at this formation, Dick. 4 wide receivers on one side of the field.
O'Brien looks the other way and finds wide open Dale Dawkins. And Dale Dawkins has his first catch as a pro. What do you call that formation?
Gee, that's a high 5. I know it says 5 receivers on the field, 4 on one side. And if you're in man-to-man defense, you have to find out who your man is and then sort through him to cover him. But the Miami Dolphins were really in a zone defense, so they're unable to do anything.
Well, it winds up short of a first down by 1.5 yards. And so Joe Prokop, and boy, the kicks are going to be an adventure today. He's kicking into the wind. Tony Martin deep for Miami. He keeps it low. Not a bad idea. And Williams with a fair catch at the 17-yard line. And Miami with the ball for the first time today. And 3 minutes play. And keep their footing. And there's our anemometer that measures the wind velocity. You can see now at about 12 miles an hour, but it'll gust up to 30. Now that's the wind on the floor of the stadium that is actually opposed to the direction of the wind high atop the stadium, where it is really whipping and starching the flags. Webb and Sims, the rookies on the left side, Ulaneg, Galbraith, and Dennis, the oldest lineman, 25. Marino has Page, the ex-Jet, and Sammy Smith. Duper and Clayton, the wide receivers. Farrell Edmonds, the tight end. Those 3 go out when they go to the 4 wide set. Jensen, Martin, and Banks come in. Marino rolling and hitting Mark Clayton for a first down, it would appear, out of the 29-yard line. Jets defense reads this way: Stallworth, Mercero, Bird, the leading sack maker, and Lagaman. They use the 4-3 set. Mott, Clifton, and Kelly Clifton, the leading tacklers. Tony Stargell has been picked on, the rookie corner. Hasty on the other side with Curtis and McMillan, the safeties. Curtis playing today for Brian Washington, injured. When they go to their nickel, Michael Mays and Don Odegaard come in as extra DBs.
Well, Stargell was hit right away. Clayton's going to be after Stargell all day. He's a rookie, and he's not playing with a lot of confidence.
The give is to Sammy Smith, slashing off the left side for a big gain to the 37, a pickup of 8 before Hasty and Curtis can collaborate.
Smith coming in with a slightly strained knee, so we may not see as much of him as you normally would, just breaking off to the outside, and the Jets lost leverage. They didn't contain him that time. Play designed to go outside, but Smith running a little gingerly today.
2 games versus the Jets in his young history, 3.6 average. The Jets are allowing 5 yards, the worst in the NFL defending the rush. 5-yard average. Second and a short 2. Smith caught in the backfield and ripped down by Scott Mercero, the veteran from Southern Connecticut, number 94.
This Jet defense is identical to the defense that Minnesota with Floyd Peters has been running for a number of years. And Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator, worked with Minnesota for 5 years. So you'll see this team with 8 men near the line of scrimmage virtually every down, almost forcing Marino to pass.
There's Carroll. He's 39. Looks much younger, doesn't he? He's one of 5 defensive coordinators in the league that are in their 30s. Marino through the hands of Fred Banks, number 86, and Miami will have to punt.
Marino had to get rid of that ball. That's not what he wanted to do, but Washington, number 97, was all over him. He had to make that quick release and use that release of his to get rid of the ball before he got sacked. So thus far, you'd have to say Jets are up to the occasion.
And here's Roby, who's really kicked well the last 3 games, over a 45-yard average. There's Mathis, the man who tied an NFL record with a 98-yard touchdown return of a punt against Dallas last week. Roby has the wind at his back. Doesn't use the wind. Mathis squeaks out to the 20-yard line, and a timeout with 10:21 remaining in a scoreless first quarter.
When it comes to
Farm is there, and by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right.
And from the World Trade Center across the Hudson into the Meadowlands, And Giant Stadium and the Jets a la Cincinnati, where Bruce Coslett worked as an assistant under Sam Weiss the last 8 years, using that sideline huddle. And right to the line of scrimmage come the New York Jets and Ken O'Brien, much battered in his 8 years here with the Jets, but tough competitor, always ready to answer the bell. And he hands off to Brad Baxter, the 235-pound fullback, for short yardage. And we'll take a look at our 10-minute ticker. Other games today, and no score as yet. And we can expect now in November and December, with the weather becoming a factor, that we'll see more of those zeros longer into the first period.
Teams really have to adapt at this stage of the year to cold weather, to the wind, to the elements.
Wind may be toughest of all.
Yeah, for a coach, it's the toughest, no question.
2nd and 7. Mark Boyer, the tight end, acquired from Indianapolis in motion. O'Brien underneath to Boyer, and he stopped at the 27-yard line. That'll be shy of a first down by 3 yards. Let's compare the Miami Dolphins defense with last year, when they allowed nearly 24 points a game. This year, an NFL low, under 12 a game, and yardage from 356 down to 227.
Well, it's really a tribute to Shula, to his staff, but personnel-wise, just better athletes. Cross, Odom added to the team, Griggs added to the team. These are intense guys, but they've got the strength it takes to dominate a blocker. And in the past, blockers themselves have dominated the Miami defense.
Couldn't stop the run. They stop it here, but too late. First down picked up by Brad Baxter. Odom and McKyer with a tackle.
Odom really stuck Baxter, but he got through quickly enough to get the first down. This defense is attacking. It's hitting, eyes open, hitting clean. Now, they'll get a first down, but look at the hit itself. Clean shot right up underneath. And this is earmarked the defense that hasn't played this way for probably 20 years.
Odom is the man who knocked out his former teammate, Jack Trudeau. Put him out maybe for the season in the game against the Colts a couple of weeks ago. On first down, play action. O'Brien caught, and down he goes. David Griggs, number 92. His brother was a former Jet, Billy, a tight end, and Sean Lee were in on O'Brien, who was sacked for the 24th time this year.
Well, O'Brien's got to get rid of the ball, Dick. You can't hold it that long. Nice fake. Look at the clearance he's got. Throw, throw, throw. Look at this. Well, I don't care who you're playing. You can't hold the ball for 4 seconds like that.
Meanwhile, Jeff Cross getting lots of attention. Double team.
He's got a guard. He's handling with 2 people reading his rush. 3 people. Those that don't have anyone particular to block, I'm sure they're looking over for Jeff.
Second down and about 20. O'Brien scrambling. And throws it away. He did have Blair Thomas in the area.
Well, Al Toon tried to cross in a shallow cross, the kind of pass he caught right at the start of the game, the first play. And this time, Miami was waiting. They just shut him off right at the line of scrimmage. That's why you saw O'Brien looking, and then having to come out to his left.
Bruce Coslett, where did you find him when you were assistant at Cincinnati?
You know, before the game, I just tried to recall 22 years ago, Dick. This guy was a good football player at University of Pacific, tried Canada, and then had sort of given up football. And with the Bengals as a young assistant, I called him on the phone, and we made a deal over the phone. Well, he was working in a tire factory for the summer.
O'Brien, big yardage needed, and he doesn't get it. Good defensive play by a former Jet, Kerry Glenn, who broke up the pass to rookie Terrence Mathis.
The Miami zone is just attacking short receivers. So as the ball gets there, the Miami defenders are getting there. Good design of a play, but you see Toon working underneath, but you see people all over the short defenders then attacking the ball. But you know, Bruce was spending the summer working to get enough money to get going to graduate school. We made a deal. Paul Brown gave us the authority to make deals. $14,000 a year for Bruce. $500 bonus.
Prokop to Tony Martin on the low punt. Martin gets by a few green shirts, but finally is brought down. 58 Joe Kelly in on the tackle. And it will be the Jets starting from about their 42 or 3 yard line. check that Miami from the 42 or 43 as we look at the quarterback comparison. Marino against O'Brien. And the punishment they've taken, Marino sacked less than a sack per game. Of course, Miami's led the league 9 straight years, counting this one. O'Brien, 284 sacks.
Part of it's the delivery and the quickness.
First down from the 44 for the Dolphins. No score. Midpoint first quarter. Both teams having trouble moving the ball early. Marino underneath, incomplete to Mark Clayton. He guns the ball short. Clayton won't drop many of those. 23 catches this year.
Marino put a lot on that ball, and it travels such a short distance. Clayton didn't have a chance to adjust, but now that's 2 drops for Mark. He's not having a super year. Of course, they're not throwing him that much, but in this particular game, with an 8-man front, a la the Minnesota Vikings that Carroll's put together, the pass should be dominating the game plan for Miami. Wind or no wind.
23, Troy Stratford down the backfield behind Marino. As Tony Page with Stratford. And the Jets offside. And Marino throws out of bounds to Duper, I believe. No, Clayton. Clayton says he's inbounds. But the first signal was he waved it out of play. No catch. Now they talk it over.
The Jets just can't afford to make any mistakes. That offside, they say he did catch it.
Changed his mind, and they rule it a catch out at the Jets 46.
You'll see an offside on the left. That's pretty evident. Now Dan's going to time an out pattern to the left side, and there's one. There's a drag. Yeah, he got it. That's fine. Real pro kind of catch. No question about it. But the Jets can't make any mistakes, even an offside like that.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. The penalty is accepted. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Instead of 2nd and 1, they took it at first and 5. Or 2nd and 5, it would have been 3rd and 1. Dick Hantak is the referee.
Sometimes you can question decisions. I'd have to question that one. I don't know what they had in mind there. You're playing a pretty confident game when you give up a 4-yard gain for a down. But the Jets can't make any mistakes. They're outgunned here. They're outmanned. Their enthusiasm has to offset the intensity of the Miami team that can sense a great season.
This is Mark Logan. He really runs hard, but runs into 2 tough Jet defenders. Eric McMillan streaking up from his safety position, number 22, to aid Joe Kelly, the linebacker.
Now McMillan and Curtis both coming from the secondary. The Jets are trying to hide what they have in mind, but they're going to come up and force this play from the inside out. There's McMillan. Good shot. Hasty getting in on it. The enthusiasm of this Jet team is a dramatic departure from a year ago. Again, coaching has been a major factor.
McMillan, who's led the Jets in interceptions 8 and 6 his first 2 years, but only 2 this season. His role has changed. He's making more tackles. There's a throw underneath to Jensen, and a first down as Jensen, the 3rd down receiver, comes in, and Marino finds him, even though everyone in the ballpark knows it's going to be Jensen.
Before the game, I just got some stats together. He's caught 12 third down passes, and this is number 13 in the season. I think it's only about his 20th catch. So he comes in on 3rd down, and they've thrown the ball on 3rd down.
It's only his 18th catch, and he is the
18th
bread and butter guy on 3rd down.
You know, I sort of pushed Jim Jensen into this role. We coached him in the Senior Bowl as a quarterback. We didn't put him in the game.
At Boston University, where he broke a lot of stable Harry Aganis' records. To the 39-yard line, Sammy Smith, Gerald Davis, Scott Mercereau with a tackle, a gain of close to 5 at the 39 of the Jets.
You know, you talk about developing personnel. Don Shula with Jim Jensen. Now, how could you ever think a tall, angular quarterback would ever be a pass receiver in later years and play as many years as he has? 10 years.
And a great special teams player.
Oh, yeah, and that's how he volunteered to be a kickoff man with Shula because he was so bored standing on the sideline as a 3rd quarterback. They let him do it. He made a great hit. And from then on, he's been valuable.
Marino down the middle to Clayton. Is that interference? Yes, it is. Tony Stargell a little early on the contact to Clayton.
Looked like Stargell was going for the ball. It really did. Maybe they have a better angle on it from where we sit. He was breaking on the ball. He wasn't playing the receiver. He was. Oh, maybe he was. Maybe our angle isn't quite so good, Dick.
Condemning evidence. So Miami now in striking territory inside the Jets' 20-yard line at about the 16. They'll mark it.
The Jets have to keep the game.
Pass interference. Defense number 45. First down.
Jets just have to keep the game close. And when I say that, any game you'd want to give that reference point. But in this case, if they get behind, they don't have near the offense against the Miami defense to overcome anything. So they've got to keep it close into the second half.
17-yard line, first down for Marino and the Dolphins. He sends Duper left and brings Clayton in motion. And gives to Smith. Fumble! And Smith recovers his own mistake. A good defensive play, reaching in and stripping him away. It appeared to be Kyle Clifton.
Smith recovers his fumble.
Clifton filled the hole. As soon as he saw that guard in front of him block down, you'll see him come flying. You see the guard block down. He flies into the hole, takes on Page, and makes basically a stop, although that ball came out of there a little early. Clifton is having a great year. Page is having a great year. And both of these guys, some years ago, were drafted by the Jets and were teammates.
In fact, Bruce Coslett said Clifton's been his biggest surprise. Marino almost sacked and unloads it, and no flag. He did have a receiver in the area, Troy Stratford. It was Gerald Nichols, number 77, with the pressure. He from Florida State.
Well, that quick release got Marino a fighting chance here, because in this case, if O'Brien were in this position, he'd have been sacked. But Marino gets the ball off. And that's the difference in the two quarterbacks.
Nichols had the grasp, but not the control.
I'll bet, Dick, there's 100 sacks along the way O'Brien's taken that Marino wouldn't have taken under similar circumstances.
3rd and 10 for Miami. Complete to Duper. And he struggles for the first down. What a play. They had him at the 9-yard line where it would have been 4th and 2. And Duper charges to the 5. First and goal.
The Jets went all out for Marino. Backed up like this, they sent everybody. And it's that slant pattern is thrown so sharp and so hard that it really couldn't be stopped. And you notice where he caught it, into his body. It wasn't thrown out in front. Marino is almost pinpoint in accuracy.
Boy, Marino loving Duper's second effort as he dragged Don Odegaard, the rookie defensive back, an extra 4 yards in the first and goal. 8th play of this drive, no score. 3.5 minutes left first quarter. Smith. And Sammy to the 1-yard line. Darrell Davis and company drag him down. Mercer there as well.
You know, there was a time when the Dolphins were at their best in 1984. When they'd get in this position, Marino would throw 3 straight passes to get the touchdown. That's the difference between this team and the last great one that Don Shula had. Now they're willing to run the ball, and what a benefit that is for Marino. It takes all the heat off him.
Shula last night with a wrinkle in his eye and a twinkle in his eye and a wrinkle, a smile. He said, yeah, he's even changing pass plays to run plays in his audible.
Yeah.
Marino. From the 1. Tony Page. No, Marino keeps it and he loses a yard.
Well, we were just talking about how they'll run the ball, and he went ahead and tried to play pass instead. I think the old habits, they almost revert to them. Here Dan Marino's going to run a play pass. See this? He's holding on to it. Maybe not.
Looks
No,
like
it's
there's
a
no
play.
one to hand it off to.
No, it's a play pass. It was a play pass, and he couldn't even get the fake in.
Dennis Berg, number 90, having a big year, made the tackle, and the Jets want to call timeout here on 3rd and goal inside the 3. 2:26 left. Miami with a big 3rd down call coming up. In the season, Atlanta takes the early lead at Soldier Field. New England hungry for a win, up by 7 against Indianapolis, and Tampa Bay scores first in the Superdome. Here, no score, but Miami at the 2.5-yard line. Their 10th play of this drive. And the Jets called a timeout to make sure the proper defensive players were on the field.
Well, the Dolphins have got 4 wide receivers in the game. The Jets had to adjust to it quickly. Look for Marino to hand off here and run a draw play out. Nope. All by himself. There's a draw.
Quarterback draw doesn't work. Great charge defensively by the middle of the Jets line to stack it up, led by Gerald Nichols.
The Jets isolated everybody to the outside, then ran a man in motion. Marino tried to draw play, but it was engulfed. So the strategy backfired on him, and the Dolphins have sort of left what they do best to try to outsmart somebody. And the Jets were just playing too aggressive. They weren't about to buy something like that.
That brings on perfect Pete Stoyanovich, 12 for 12 this year. This one a 29-yard, make that a 24-yard attempt. And he's 13 for 13, and Miami leads 3-0. Final minute and a half, first quarter.
Basketball practical.
They work on their defensive schemes across the way with the New York Jets. Kicking into the wind now as Odegaard and Mathis will deploy to return. And it's blowing hard enough now that Jarvis Williams has to serve as a holder for Stoyanovich. It takes only a 5-yard run-up.
You know, this really was a sort of a moral escape or moral victory for the Jets to give up only 3 points when Miami had first and goal with that running game they've developed. So the Jets are staying with it just by those tactics. 3 points they can overcome.
Mathis from New Mexico. Hit hard at the 20, and down goes the yellow flag. E.J. Jr., the veteran from Alabama, on the special teams with a tackle. Reminder, NBC Sports next Sunday. It'll be 12:30, of course, for NFL Live, and there's your lineup featuring San Diego at Kansas City. Kansas City with that great defense, special teams. They've blocked 5 punts this year. They're looking for a win that would set them up for the rematch against the Raiders 2 weeks from now, and the Chargers have been playing well. There's the FC West. The Chargers with a victory today. They too could be at 5-5 and flirt with a possible wild card. There's 3 wild cards in each conference this year, so that'll keep it wide open right to the end.
You know, Kansas City isn't so good that San Diego can't beat them, and Kansas City is yet to get enough offense so that they can routinely win tough games. They still struggle, and San Diego's defense could give them all kind of trouble. They're just not there yet. So San Diego's certainly in striking distance.
So O'Brien's numbers in the first game as the Jets almost beat Miami down at Joe Robbie. In the last minute or so, a pass to Duper from Marino to knock off the Jets 20-16. Fumble by the rookie Thomas, and it's recovered by Holmes. Right at the goal line.
The Dolphins are coming up the field so hard that the blockers can't get to them. That time the guard and tackle pulled, and the defenders had penetrated so far they couldn't even block them. So the ball's knocked out of there almost immediately.
It was David Griggs who forced the fumble, and the Jets recover almost a safety against the Jets. There's Griggs, who's made a couple of big hits already. That's one of those physical players that has pleased Shula thus far this year.
Well, Griggs and Turner came up the field so hard that there wasn't anybody there to block them. Now you see them come up the field all the way to the ball. Here it is. The ball's knocked out almost immediately by Griggs, but there's nothing there. Those kinds of plays just aren't going to make it.
Yeah, the Jets fortunate to wind up with the ball. Play action, and O'Brien hits Johnny Hector for a short game, but at least it gets him off the goal line.
That would have given a first down, because Hector slipped and fell, or they'd have gotten their first down. You see people sitting there waiting for it. 3 people making contact.
3rd and 15.
This is the difference in Miami's style of play this year. A year ago, they'd all been sitting back and have gotten blocked.
Miami with a 3-0 lead in the final seconds of this first period. And remember, the Jets are kicking into the wind if they are not able to come up with a big play on 3rd and 15. Freeman McNeil, the only running back. 4 wide. O'Brien, plenty of time. And can't find Terrence Mathis. That would have been enough for a first down. So with 17 seconds left in the quarter, on comes Joe Prokop to try to get a hold of a long one. But in this wind, it's very difficult to get any distance, especially left to right. And so Miami should come up with excellent field position. Tony Martin, in fact, is standing at the Jets' 40-yard line.
O'Brien had time he's never had before. Just by chance, all the Miami pass rushers widened out and ran past him. So he was in a position really to complete that pass and was nervous, I think, because he assumed he'd get hit.
Great kick against the wind. Driving Martin back, and he fumbles it. He muffs it. It's a live ball, and the Jets recover at the 40-yard line. Chris Burkett.
Well, Dick, we spoke about it before the game and early in the game. This wind can drive a coach crazy and drive players crazy. That ball suddenly took off and was almost impossible to judge. And these are the kinds of breaks that the Jets need.
Joe Prokop, he got the ball high enough so that the high wind carried it. And I know it sounds confusing, but the wind on the field goes right to left, but the predominant wind is from the west. And when you get it high enough in the stadium, then you're going to get a little carry, which he did.
4 wide receivers for the Jets. They're going to open it up right at this point. No, they're not.
Freeman McNeil charging to the 36-yard line. The 31-year-old veteran from UCLA giving a solid. Atlanta still holding to that Davis field goal at Chicago. And the other change, Minnesota has scored at the Silverdome to lead the Lions 7-0. Joe Prokop into that capricious win, a 50-yard punt, a big play, the muff by Martin, and the recovery at the 40 by the Jets, who position themselves now for a chance to attack Miami's 3-0 lead as we open the second period.
There's a little game going on both sides. Bruce Cosell is keeping his team on the sideline and breaking up without a huddle. That means Miami has to wait to see who's coming out to know who to play on defense.
McNeil, big hole. And he has a first down at the 25.
There was a hole, no question about it. McNeil didn't have to make any kind of move in the hole. He just turned it on. The wham play by the halfback blocking the nose guard. McNeil splits people and works up the field, but there was something there.
Well, all 4 Jets ball carriers are averaging over 4 yards a carry this year. They have been able to run it.
Looked like Overdahl just didn't fill quickly enough.
Yeah, Hector this time just couldn't get to the corner. Well shut off as Jarvis Williams, one of those talented safeties, came up to help out veteran Hugh Green, 55.
If both safeties are able to come up, they can see that ball coming. You see the break to the outside. You know, if it could be legislated to eliminate one play from football, it's that off-tackle play by the tailback. Every team runs it almost to get a breath between making the kind of calls that'll win the game. These kind of, I bet league-wide it averages less than 2 yards a carry.
On 2nd and long, O'Brien crosses him up with a run, and McNeil tripped up at the 19 by Cliff Odom. Let's go back to the off-tackle play. Why is that not working?
Well, everybody gets there before the ball carrier does. Now here's another case of that lead play. They just ran, and Overdahl is blocked by the guard, and it took Odom to come across and make the stop. They're going right at them. But that I formation play off tackle that Inky from, who was it? Inky Woods from Cincinnati made popular a few years ago. Everybody's calling that almost to give themselves time to use other tactics because it goes nowhere. Team after team use it. It drives me crazy as sort of a pass-oriented former coach.
3rd and 4, McNeil the only running back. O'Brien, all kinds of room to run. And they call him Obi, and his teammates say Slowby. Was he fast enough to get the first down? Mobley made the tackle.
It looked like he could go for the goal line, and he got 3 yards.
He got the first down.
He breaks outside and tries to fake the pass, but to no avail. But he did get the first down.
To the 14-yard line of the Dolphins. Miami leads 3-0. 12:20 left in the first half. Nice straight running plays, although that last one wasn't intended. There's Baxter, the big fullback, inside the 10. He's from Alabama State. It was a project last year on the Jets developmental squad. And Coslett said he improved more than any one player since I've arrived.
And when Bruce came in, he really wasn't sold on him at all. He'd been an 11th round pick by Minnesota and released. It's interesting how many players are even late round picks released and finally find a new life related to the system and maybe their maturity.
2nd and 5 at the 9. Just shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. And the Dolphin defense, counting the first quarter today, has shut out the running game from the end zone 21 quarters. In fact, the last touchdown against the Dolphins on the ground was Otis Anderson here at the Meadowlands when Miami lost to the New York Giants.
The Jets are playing a good, sound, conservative ball game. They're not trying to fool anybody. And this is the kind of attitude you develop that when the talent finally gets there, there'll be a winner, a big winner.
Hector, nothing there. There's your favorite player. That off-tackle slant, and you're right, it does seem to draw a crowd.
Well, they got a little bit out of it the play before and repeated it.
So on comes the field goal unit, and that means veteran Pat Leahy, second oldest in the league at 39. Joe Ferguson at 30 is the real graveyard of the NFL. This former All-America soccer player at St. Louis University has had another big year. 14 for 15. Never been to the Pro Bowl.
That's amazing over the years. Ray Worship for the 49ers was like that. Great career. But once you get locked into the Pro Bowl, often it's the same kickers every year that keep coming back. And they don't really give consideration to new people. And this guy's hardly new.
Well, just like Stoyanovich from 24 yards, it's Leahy to tie it up to 3-all. 10 to go, first half. It's to a field goal by Leahy, and it is absolutely not true, ladies and gentlemen, that old football coaches who retired take up other toys once their football is taken away. This actually has
This is supposed to be serious now.
Okay,
Get going
well, tell
on
me about it.
Well, Larry Bechtel calls his team what? The
Road
graders.
This is a road graders.
The problem is he's going to have to lead a lot bigger machine to win the championship. But right now he's got road graders, and they just got 3 points.
He actually has a road grader in the offensive linemen's quarters where they study film to remind them that that's the kind of blocking he wants. 3-all, 9:59 to go. The kick is into the end zone by Leahy. It'll be Miami starting at the 20 as we go to NFL Live, and this update with Bob Costas.
Dick, New England is trying to break a 6-game losing streak at home, second quarter in Foxborough. They have a 7-0 lead on the Colts after this 1-yard touchdown run by Marvin Allen. And since you seem to be so amused by them, Dick, we'll be sending you a G.I. Joe and the Remco Sneaky Pete magic set for Christmas.
You ruined the fun. Now, I had that on my list. How did you ever get that? 3-all. Road graders are on the sideline at the moment as Miami goes to work, and not much there for Sammy Smith, Ron Stallworth, and Dennis Bird, the tacklers.
Well, the longer that Don Shula refrains from using the pass, the more optimism I'm sure you'll see on that Jet sideline, because no question the running game for Miami is much, much better. But the passing game, with the Jet defensive backs having to deal with Marino and his receivers, is really the way that Miami can win this game.
The wind hurts on Marino's pass game, doesn't it? Underneath, he goes short to Tony Page, the former Jet fullback, at the 28, where it'll be 3rd and 2 as Miami operates behind a very young line. Richmond Webb, the #1 pick from A&M this year. Keith Sims from Iowa State, their #2 pick. Ulenik is only in his second year. As you can see, Galbraith and Dennis on the right side. The oldest men in there are Galbraith and Dennis, and they're just 25. So the future of this offensive line, very bright. They're already good, and that's partly because of the terrific play of the rookies, Webb and Sims, on the left side. Let's see if they go left on third and a long two. Yep, first down. Right behind the block of Sims. Smith with the first down out at the 31-yard line.
You'll see Tony Page leading into the hole. You'll see him break through to make a big block, and Page, the fullback, will break into the hole right here. There is a beautiful block inside, and Clifton had to try to stop it. These two guys, Clifton and Page, drafted together, rooming together with the Jets many years ago, and both now competing against each other.
Smith again. Nice hole. Again the left side. And turns it down the sidelines to the Jets' 48-yard line. McMillan and Hasty, the deep backs, finally get him out of bounds. Might have been poked in the eye. It's a 21-yard run.
Well, fortunately for the Dolphins, they have more than one runner. But here's the lead play inside with Page again making a great block, and Smith breaking to the outside. Smith's lost 12 pounds from a year ago, so he's much quicker than a year ago, much quicker. There's a poke in the eye.
Hasty, as he made the tackle, first down at the 48 of the Jets. Misdirection and no action at all except by the defense led by Dennis Bird, number 90. Bird from Tulsa, a native greatest player from Mustang, Oklahoma.
Bird's their best player. He's in a position Millard plays for the Vikings, that critical position over the guard, and he has similar kinds of abilities. But this Jet team is attacking. They're not sitting back and reading. They're going after people with real conviction.
A loss of a yard. Bird hands Logan, so it's second and 11. Page and Stratford behind Marino. Down the middle to Edmonds. Almost intercepted on the deflection. Right there was Travis Curtis as Kyle Clifton, the linebacker, got a hand on it.
Edmonds caught that same ball a week ago and went all the way with it, or virtually all the way, right down the middle against a double rotation. This time the ball was just a little bit behind it.
Third and 11.
Edmonds, a Pro Bowl player, started out so slowly this year they thought he needed replacing, but in the last couple of weeks he's really come on.
Jet stands trying to help their defense. Wide open, but Martin misses it. Tony Martin, who muffed the punt earlier, has that one go right through his hands. That would have been a first down.
This is the kind of thing that's happened for the Jets the last 2 weeks, and they've won against superior opponents. There's a ball that should be caught. It was sort of being forced to the ground by the wind. But these are the kinds of things that started developing the last 2 weeks for the Jets, and they've come away with 2 wins. It could happen today.
Richie Roby to punt. Terrence Mathis back at the 10. Mathis and to the 23-yard line. Smothered and a timeout. 6:43 left first half.
A6, hurry.
To meet your opponent on a more intimate basis. Eric McMillan and Jim Jensen. Apparently Jensen a little hard of hearing because McMillan came up real close to punctuate his.
You know, there's a great fraternal feeling between players in the NFL. You know, they all have the same lot in life, and they care for each other.
They sure do. 3-all. 6:43 to go in the first half. The way the Jets have been winning the last couple of weeks. Huff. And a good catch made by Rob Moore, the supplemental #1 draft pick. No catch is the call. Apparently juggled it as he came down. Looked from our angles if he had that one tucked away.
The ball was thrown behind him. He plants now. See how he has to reach way back for it. Oh, gee. Looked like he had that ball.
Second and 10.
Looked like he had his hands wrapped around it as he bounced to the turf, but apparently it might have been one of those quick hops.
Really an excellent move for the ball.
He's got it there, tucked it away. No, well, might have been slightly loose. Tough call, but perhaps a good one. That's not going to be overruled. So from the 24, second and 10. Fake reverse. Blair Thomas to the 28-yard line. Tim McKyer, the left corner, on the tackle.
They had me fooled, Dick.
Brought down by number 92.
On the ticker, Jim Kelly has thrown his second touchdown pass of the first half. Bills lead. Kansas City with the first points. Against Seattle, Atlanta has been tied. The Bears with a field goal. Colts cut into the New England lead. And New Orleans has tied Tampa Bay. Wind blowing the ball upfield, so the umpire will have to come in and re-spot it. 3rd down and 5 from the 29. O'Brien thus far 4 for 8, only 35 yards passing. 4 wide. McNeil. Enough for the first down. Needed 5. McNeil got 6. Jeff Cross made the tackle.
Miami's nickel defense is somewhat different. They really run 3 linemen and E.J. Jr., who was stacked in here at this position, but they're vulnerable really to the running play. With just 3 linemen, you see E.J. being picked off by the right tackle, Miller, and there's a hole there. So that was part of a plan, I'm sure. That 3-man defensive line sooner or later could be trapped in that just 3rd and 4 or 5.
O'Brien buying some time and then throws it away. Hugh Green was putting on some pressure, and Jeff Cross as well, flushing him out of the pocket.
There's a look at Bruce's scripted plays. I'm sure that they're not much good if Kenny O'Brien doesn't hit the receiver. And that time O'Brien, it looked like he had a man, and he just holds the ball too long.
There's Coslett. His son right behind him is only a sophomore in high school. JJ, 6'4" and 220 pounds, playing both ways as a tackle. Use your son when you were on the sidelines?
Mine, I was a head coach a little later in life. My son was full grown by the time I got a job.
O'Brien on the screen to Hector. To the 40, short of the first down by 5. Good block by Matic. Odom made the stop.
As I mentioned a while back, Bruce Coslett as a tight end coming to the Bengals in expansion. He played 8 years, alternated with Bob Trumpy, and who, from my phone call, not taking any credit for it, come all full circle for Bruce being a head coach in the National Football League. The one thing he brought to the Bengals at that time, and he brings to the Jets, he's extremely bright, very, very assertive guy. He's a quick thinker, got a clear mind, and has paid off as a player, but even more so now as a coach.
3rd and 5, O'Brien. And he goes down. There's a sack by E.J. Jr., the second of the game, and Jr. now has 5 on the year. Former #1 pick of the Cardinals in '81, overcame a cocaine problem, now speaks a highly intelligent guy to young people about his problems. He called it stinking thinking to get involved with drugs, but he's made a comeback and is really contributing with the Dolphins this year.
Well, you know, he was beaten out by David Griggs because they thought Griggs was just a more physical player than E.J., but then he found his spot as a situational pass rusher. And he really comes off that corner or can act as a blitzer, and has got a sort of a refound career.
Troy Stratford from the 15. And he's out of bounds with flags down at the 26. So Tony Martin, who left the last punt, is yanked by Don Shula. Uses Stratford on this occasion. Pretty good return, but it's going to be called back because of a penalty, apparently. 48-yard punt by Prokop. 11 yards on the return, and now DeCantac will announce the penalty.
You know, they keep statistics on everything in the National Football League. How many kicking plays would there be and then a penalty involved? I bet it's 60%, because the officials can see every player. those players are trying so desperately to help their team, they'll do anything. They're
We have
overzealous.
holding on the return. We will penalize half the distance to the goal line. It will be first down.
Plenty of time, 3:51, but plenty of distance for Shula when we return. Here at 3-all, Miami and the Jets and the Dolphins with just under 4 minutes left in this first half will begin from their 10-yard line after the penalty on the punt. Dan Marino, number 9 all-time in touchdown passes, puts them to work. Sammy Smith trying to pick a hole, gets out to the 14, where it'll be second down and 6.
The value, Dick, the value of an Eric McMillan coming in. Smith actually broke the line of scrimmage, and McMillan just comes over and finishes him off.
Second and 7.
And that, you know, what a difference to have those big safety men able to come up and make those stops.
McMillan, 6'2" and 200, was a teammate with the Tigers of Missouri of Jeff Cross, who has become the star defensive lineman of Miami. Smith on the pitch, breaks a tackle. Flags are down, and Smith is tackled at the 30. And where they're throwing the yellow, it appears that one's going to be called back.
I think I saw a face mask along the way on Smith. Looked like Kelly reached out and got part of a face mask.
We have face mask on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
Very good, Bill Walsh. And so the run does count, and plus 5 yards.
I could always spot the face mask, nothing else.
First and 10 from the 36.
There's a reach.
Look at that block by the young tackle Webb. Just really cleared out the way, and finally the tackle from behind by Travis Curtis. First down at the 35, Miami. Less than 3 minutes to go in the half. And Clayton makes the catch at the 45. Nope, said no catch. He did not have control. Boy, that was a clever move, though, by Clayton as Marino was running out of territory, going out of bounds. Clayton, watch what he does here.
That comes all the way back. Well, this is really a design play. Marino coming to the outside with the blocking setting up to getting him away from the pass rush, and Clayton breaking late to the outside, but they're not canceling the ball.
It would not have counted even had Clayton caught the ball because he had stepped out of bounds. And that announcement being made by Dick Hantek now.
This Pete Carroll has done a great job with this Jet defense. He really has. He looks like he's 25. You couldn't take him seriously, but he's 39 years old. But he has a history of being one of the brightest people in the game.
He reminds me of the young defensive coach of the Giants who works here on other Sundays, Phil Bellinger. Underneath, and it's Stratford across the 45, right at the sticks. That's going to be close to a first down. Clifton makes the tackle. A flag is down.
Again, it was a broken play by the Miami team. Marino is just not executing. This team is not executing and moving the ball. It's taking broken plays to get yardage. And, of course, this penalty negates even that. I give the Jets...
Holding. Offense. Number 78. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
I can see how the Jets have won some games this year, Dick, just by this tenacity.
Bam Bam Richmond Webb from Texas A&M, the #1 pick, guilty of the hold. Ray Bentley, the linebacker with the Bills, said this guy Webb is so big he looks like an eclipse.
Then you put Sims next to him, who's even heavier, 305 and 300 right next to each other.
That's not a good sign. Clayton limping off. Marino's top target the last several years. Over 400 lifetime catches. Second and 20. Martin catches one this time. He's to the 32-yard line. Kyle Clifton, who leads the Jets in tackles, as he has for the last 6 years, makes the stop. As we approach the 2-minute timeout with the score still at 3 apiece. And Tony Martin has replaced him in the lineup. Terrific athlete, Clayton. You know, there's stories in college at Louisville where he jumped the full length of a ping pong table on a bed, and he leads the Dolphins basketball team in the winter. Scored 60 points a couple of games. Looked good today. Third and a big 13 with 2 minutes to go. Jets want the ball. Might have been offside. Flags are down, and the pass incomplete. That's a shame As Fred Banks unable to get to the ball, it appeared that Marvin Washington, for the second time, had leaned offside, and that'll give Marino another play.
Marino does a beautiful job with his cadence, his snap count.
Offsides. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Third down.
3rd and 8.
Marino historically has done things, and Washington just hasn't adapted to that snap count, to that cadence.
Jets, one of the most penalized teams in the league this year, and Miami has been typical of Shula teams, the least penalized.
All the Jets are right up into that line of scrimmage right now. I'd assume they'll back out of there, but they're showing full blitz.
Offside again. This time it was one of the linebackers underneath. The pass complete to Stratford right at the sticks. Might have been about a yard shy. This time it was Jeff Lageman who was offside. They might measure first to see if it's a first down before the Dolphins elect to either take the penalty or the play.
Offside. Defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
So it's a first down. That's why they declined the penalty. So Bruce Coslet's young defense self-destructed there. They had Miami stopped, would have gotten the ball, but 2 offside penalties, although the second not affected the pass complete anyway. But the pass that was incomplete on 3rd down, Washington's offside gave Marino the second chance. Martin, boy, did that ball sail. Martin looking for it in front of him, and the ball 5 yards behind him.
I must say that with all our improvement in the running game, the Miami pass protection is not what it used to be. Maybe they're not giving it as much time. I'm sure that's a factor. But Marino is having to release that ball. That's why it's just inaccurate enough not to get the good catch off it. And that time Washington was right there.
And the Jets feel that the one player they need going into next year is a impact pass rusher. They've got some good rushers, but they don't have the guy that you really have to build your offense around stopping.
They don't have anybody that you have to account for especially.
Marino ducking away from pressure, and Jensen unable to make the catch on a little flip-flop push shot by Marino. And it was Washington putting on the heat. Lageman there as well.
Wouldn't it be something with all the improvement on defense? Improved running game that you can't pass like you used to, but that's what it looks like so far today. The wind's somewhat of a factor, but they're just not getting open, and the linemen are giving too much ground in the face of Marino, so he can't go to alternate receivers.
1:43 left in the first half. Miami 3, the Jets 3. This is 3rd and 10 for Marino. Intercepted. Is he still in bounds? Yes, Travis Curtis, and he is to the Miami 44-yard line.
Marino had 3 people right down his throat when he tried to throw that ball. It was almost a hope shot.
And Marvin Washington hit him just as he released the ball. For Curtis, his 2nd interception of the year, and this was an outstanding defensive play. And so, with plenty of time, 1:33 seconds, the underdog Jets with a chance for the lead. They start at the 44 of the Dolphins. Raymond McNeil falls to the 40. Well, there was a muff punt that led to the Jets' first field goal.
Jets have to. Now, this is the part of the game that is almost the last to develop, the 2-minute offense or the 1-minute offense. It just takes years to really develop it and refine it, like the 49ers now have it. And the Jets are so young, don't expect too much in this situation.
Ryan, pass to the tight end Boyer. He's to the 35-yard line.
Out of bounds, Boyer. He's right on the sideline. That's why the play's designed. He gets it late, moves up the sideline, jumps out of bounds, and they have to call a timeout.
Jets call time. That leaves them with 1 timeout and 50 seconds to take the lead. Jensen on the sidelines. His team guilty of a muff punt and now an interception. And the Jets with 50 seconds to go. 3rd and short, looking for the lead. From the 35, McNeil. And again, the passes to the outside with this wind seem to really drift. Now 4th and what does Kozla do? Is he going to go for it? Apparently. Too far for the field goal try. It would be about a 52-yard field goal with the wind, if there is such a thing, the way this crazy wind operates, swirling in Giant Stadium. Is it a catch? No. Rob Moore unable to get it before it hit the turf. He caught it as it hit the turf simultaneously. Now another official comes in and it ruled it a catch, so let's look at it. Hard to tell from that angle whether Moore got the ball, his hands underneath the ball, between the ball and the carpet.
Well, you don't see him drop it. His hands are right up, boy. Looks like he dropped it, Dick. It looks like it bounced off his hands.
First down, Miami.
So the Dolphins, with 36 seconds left, are at their own 35-yard line.
The choice of plays, as dear as Bruce is to my heart, the choice of those last 2 plays wasn't very good. You'd think on 3rd and short, at least they'd try a play pass to throw the hooking pattern, to try to pull linebackers up. But instead, they tried 2 drop-back passes and to the outside. And both passers have had brutal times trying to complete a pass breaking to their outside because the wind's affecting the throw.
Boy, especially the low balls, you could just see that wind just force the ball lower than O'Brien had intended.
Everything's sort of bouncing to him.
Play is being reviewed. That's why we have the delay. But unless they have a particularly terrific angle that we didn't see, those are the best that we had, those 2 angles, and they really don't show. And so there's no evidence to overrule that.
If they were going to go for it, Dick, just run for it twice. They've got 1 yard. I know Miami has an excellent defense this year, but those are sort of low percentage passes with this wind. His hands are under the ball. Now, that view looks like a catch. One of the other ones didn't quite look like it.
Not indisputable, though.
After further review, stands is called. Incompletion. First down.
Like the losing politicians called on Tuesday. You wait for the news, and it isn't good for the Jets. Miami from the 35, and with Marino's arm, 35, 36 seconds might be enough. He starts with a screen to Jensen and has blockers. He's to the 50-yard line. Miami calls a timeout. 26 seconds to go. Still at 3, but the Dolphins are at midfield. From the 49, Jets territory. Marino, 28 seconds. It's Jensen again, but only a gain of a couple. Kyle Clifton right there.
Well, if the Jets can get out of this without a score, what a break for them. Now it would be a 30-minute game instead of a 60-minute game.
Down the middle, incomplete. A diving try by Troy Stratford. 4 seconds and a desperation play for Marino and Miami.
Maybe it's just about a play early to say this, but the job that Pete Carroll's done here with this defense, as I sit up here and look at it, it is a masterful job. It really is. This is one of the bright young guys that's going to certainly be a head coach soon.
Several years the defensive coach with the Minnesota Vikings, and Bruce Kozlik made that choice right away. We have another timeout. Touchdown lead, 21 unanswered points for the Bills. Still tied in Kansas City. New Orleans with a lead. New England on top of Indianapolis. Four seconds to go. Last play, unless penalty. And Marino floods the left side and then throws the other way to Stratford. Now he has some blockers and fumbles. And finally covered at the 40-yard line as the pick he was. He was a 200. 39th player selected 2 years ago in the draft. He was a tight end in junior college out in California at Riverside City College. Went to the University of Missouri and played all the defensive line positions, but he was only a 247-pound lineman, so no one had any idea this guy would grow into an outstanding pro.
Well, this is where the scouting comes in, because 245 to 250 pounds in college, played 3 different positions, a former tight end. But Don Shula is really proud of the fact, or pleased with the fact, that he can get to the passer. If he beats the blocker, he's so quick he can get to the passer and take advantage of it.
Well, it's the new faces on that defense. Most of them selected because of their physical nature, and then McKyer coming across as a great cover man. The 2 cornerbacks, Brown and McKyer, giving them good man coverage. Second half opens with Mark Higgs returning out to the 30-yard line for Miami. Well, let's just take a look at Miami's success with the ball in the first 30 minutes, getting only the 1 field goal, 5 possessions, 1 ending in an interception,
21 yards
and
on return.
1 on the field goal.
Dolphins from their own 31.
The Jets just can't sag now if they're going to stay with Miami. They just can't let down in any way, because at least let down, and Marino's going to, 1 touchdown could make the difference.
Out on the ground, and Logan breaks through a hole and out to the 37-yard line. A pickup of about 6. Joe Mott from Iowa made the tackle. Well, Marino is going to be happy when this thing is over. He'd like to take a win and run back to Miami, because he has not enjoyed any success in 6 quarters at Giant Stadium this year. Remember, against the Giants, that great Giant defense really muffled his attempts and did not have a good throwing day in the win. And so far, nothing spectacular passing for Marino, who is operating without Mark Clayton. Underneath, Tony Page, the former Jet, who is the leading receiver for Miami. And a flag is down, and it may be a roughing call against the Jets on Marino. Yes, it is. So they'll tack on another 15 from the spot where the play ended at the 48.
The Jets are running line stunts, crossing the charges of their defensive linemen, and they're coming out with unblocked people right down Marino's throat. And that time, the
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 94, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Scott Mercereau, number 94. Ball is well off, and
that's a foul, no question about it. I think more of those kind of things should be called by the officials. He knows Marino doesn't have the ball. There's no question about that. What right does he have to do to shove the guy?
So Miami at the 37 of the Jets. And it's the tailback, Sammy Smith, and another flag is down. Joe Mott, number 51, in on the stop.
Along with Joe Mott.
Kyle Clifton did a beautiful job. He and Page are having a matchup you can't believe.
And now it's Miami, 10 of them taken back. Farrell Edmonds with a grimace.
Holding, offense, number 80, 10-yard penalty, repeat the down, first down.
Well, the arm got outside almost by mistake by Edmonds. I know Monty Clark works with the tight ends for Miami, and Edmonds has got great power, but technique-wise, he probably will never become the real sophisticated tactical blocker. But throughout this game, Tony Page and Kyle Clifton have been meeting in the hole time after time.
Page on the sidelines now as they're working on his legs. Marino incomplete, and again whistling that fastball of his right through the arms of Mark Logan. Kelly and Clifton were there. Now we get word from down below on Mark Clayton of the Dolphins. Sprained knee, will not return today. Let's hope it's no more serious than that for this athlete, who's really a joy to watch. And they're still working on Tony Page as they wrap. It appears his upper leg doesn't seem to be as serious.
Well, they need Page. He is the leader of this ball club, offensively and defensively. In fact, the Miami Dolphins voted him after 8 games who is our most valuable player. Page won hands down.
Underneath to Troy Stratford to the 41-yard line. Still not back to the start of the series, and it'll be third down and about 13. Mott another tackle.
Well, here comes Jim Jensen. So, and Tony Martin. Here they come. So these are the guys that most likely will get this ball. That middle screen was very effective early.
Jeff Lageman, number 56, trying to get this crowd into the game. On third and long for Marino. Jensen out of the backfield. Marino to Stratford, drops the ball. Tried to run before it really tucked it away, and Michael Mays, an extra defensive back there for the Jets, and Miami will have to punt.
Gary Stevens, the pass offense coach for Miami, must be going nuts upstairs because there have been drop passes all over the field, something Miami has not had any history of at all until maybe this season. But people are taking their eye off the ball. There's Gary Stevens on the sideline, former Miami assistant coach at the university. People feel he's a head coach of the future, excellent football mind. And, of course, he's filled big shoes coming into Miami and working with Marino.
Roby handles the high snap and hits one into the atmosphere. Mathis waiting for it to come down. Takes a Miami bounce and is down. And no, they say covered by Miami. It touched the Jet. It touched the Jet, and Miami has the ball. Greg Beatty recovered, number 84 at the 6-yard line.
Dick, we talked about the wind before the game. Here's another case of it, with the fair catch being attempted, but the ball falling crazily to the ground. You can't judge it. The punt returner can't. He has to get it out of the way, and it bounces off the punt return man.
Appeared to hit James Hasty.
Oh, it hits Hasty.
Number 40, right on the right leg as it came down, as Hasty was preparing to block.
Just can't make a judgment on that ball. It just takes crazy angles coming out of that wind.
So a big break for Miami.
Please return the play clock to 19 seconds. 19 seconds on the play clock, please. Thank you.
In the first half, Tony Martin muffed a punt for Miami, covered by Burkett at the 40, led to the Jets' field goal. So Mathis trying to get some room, pushed his teammate and pushed him right into the flight of the ball.
Hasty just wasn't aware at all of where that ball was coming down. But you almost count on the fair catch. And when they didn't get it, then the ball was going to bounce crazy, and it hit Hasty.
Play stands as called. First down.
Tony Page is back in the huddle for Miami. They used to call him Pollywog when he was a teammate here with the Jets. He says he likes TP, Tony Page, the total package. I can run, and I can catch, and I can certainly block. He leads the way for number 20, Mark Logan, to the 4-yard line. Dennis Bird with the initial hit.
Well, look for Page to lead the ball carrier, and look for Miami to run the ball, because the last time they were down, we talked about them sort of leaving their game plan and right away being willing to throw in this situation.
Logan appears to be holding the back of that leg, a possible hamstring. Let's check the tackle as Logan injured on the play. And with it a timeout, 12:02 left in the third period. Character of the young defense of the Jets. A goal line stand for them.
Miami, I am sure, is going to try to force that ball down in there with a run. The last series in this situation, they had a quarterback draw, tried to throw a play pass. All they got was a field goal. Look for him to go right inside with Logan. No. Shotgun. Over the middle, touchdown. It was Tony Page.
Page, who had caught only 18 passes in his best year, his previous 6 seasons, And now he's right at number 30 on this year as he's become a primary target for Marino.
Well, he crossed me up. Very evident. I didn't think they'd throw here. They go right back into the shotgun. They're just going to the pass down short.
Scott Sequels will hold.
Page, who's their best blocker, also one of their best pass receivers, a guy they'd throw to in that situation, down in close. That means they'd have to have all kind of confidence in him.
His 4th touchdown reception, more than any wide receiver for Miami. Stoyanovich with the extra point, and thanks to a muffed punt at the 6-yard line, Miami has the lead.
You said we're a dying breed.
No, we're America's Wheels. By Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping. And by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today.
Will kick.
Tony Page, roommate of Bruce Smith at Virginia Tech. He was a short yardage touchdown man for the Jets 3 years. With the Lions, no touchdowns. A Plan B acquisition by Miami, and he's delivered 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 rushing and 4 receiving to lead Miami in reception scores.
You know, I visiting with Don Shula last night, both of us agreeing, how could anyone give up Tony Page? No matter what kind of offense they ran, he's a football player.
Mathis at the 2 for the Jets. Oh, is he hit? It appeared to be Kumaro downfield to make the stop. No, it's Rick Graff. Graff, 99. Jim Kelly's 3 touchdown passes. Buffalo still leads by 7. Seattle in front of Kansas City at Arrowhead, and Chicago trying to go 8-1 on the year. New England looking for a victory against Indianapolis. Minnesota lead cut to 3, and New Orleans by a touchdown against Tampa Bay. James Hasty just in the wrong spot on that punt when the ball hit his leg and led to the easy score for Miami. Disappointed on the sidelines, and now the Jets stunned by the mistake, trailing 10-3. Blair Thomas to the 27-yard line.
Blair Thomas, the ball carrier.
He was the 2nd player picked in the draft. Jeff George by Indianapolis, and then Thomas by the Jets, wearing 32. The first time a Jet runner has carried those numbers since Emerson Boozer of the Joe Namath era.
Well, this could be the best of the bunch, and they've had some great ones, Freeman McNeil included. Bruce Kozlov thinks he has unlimited future. I think most people do. He combines everything. Speed, power.
Thomas, who gets it again, takes the reverse, has some running room. Blair Thomas to the 49, the longest play of the day for the Jets.
A fake reverse. The reverse was open in itself to the outside, and you get a beautiful running play. The reverse actually affected this fast pursuing defense. You'll see a fake reverse coming around this way to hold people, and then Thomas keeping the ball on his sweep to the outside. There's the fake to the outside, pulling guard. Beautiful job of cutting down by Trevor Matich. Beautiful.
So first down from midfield. O'Brien shakes free. Still on his feet and then smothered after a yard gain. John Offerdahl, 4 times a Pro Bowler in his 4 years with Miami, makes the tackle, and now entrepreneur. He has his own bagel business, and I guess those cinnamon raisin bagels are going big. You have to wait in line up to a half hour down there in Miami to buy one.
Well, you get a franchise down in San Diego. I'll get one in San Francisco, and we'll be set.
Just keep me out of the kitchen. His wife does all the work, though. He admits to that. 2nd and 9. Play action O'Brien. Underneath. Rod Moore. Good move by Moore. The former Syracuse star out of bounds. First down at the 41.
Well, here's another guy that the Jets feel has a great future. Supplemental draft, #1 pick. Big, strong, active. He lives on Long Island. His family lives on Long Island. Nice move there. For a guy 6'3", that's pretty darn good.
205, grew up in Hempstead there, just 3 miles from the training camp of the Jets.
Look at this. Everybody's after Cross. They still, well, 3 people finally control him.
Freeman McNeil To the 36-yard line. The game close to 5 on first down for the veteran. He's happy today with UCLA, his alma mater's major upset of Washington yesterday to deny the Huskies any hopes of a national championship.
I've always felt this guy was one of the very best in football. He combines power and elusiveness. And Blair Thomas is very, very similar. And of course, a much younger guy that can do the same kinds of things. You could have Rob Moore and a Blair Thomas. You've helped in offense.
This time it's the fullback Baxter. And he's to the 30. First down, Jets. Odom and Oliver, the tackle. Well, we have a moment here. Marty Glickman, the announcer for the Jets on radio and a longtime friend of us at NBC, for the first time in 25 years has missed his NFL assignment. He's suffering from a viral infection, couldn't call the game today, and watching at home here in New York, we sent our best to one of the great sports voices in the United States. Marty, he'll be back in the saddle, I'm sure, next weekend. Jets trying to go 5-5. Miami trying to rip off 6 wins in a row atop the AFC East with Buffalo. It's 10-3 Miami. The Jets driving, and it's Baxter again, short yardage.
The Jets are going to take it right to Miami, even though the results are real spotty. They've got to get a score on this drive, because offensively, I don't think they're going to be able to drive like this very many more times. They've got to get 3 points out of this.
Don Shula's defense from 24th in the league last year to number 1 coming into this game, and until this drive, it really shut down the Jets' attempts with the ball. This has been their most impressive drive, engineered by O'Brien. On the ground, no play action. Yes, Baxter with it. Good fake by O'Brien, but didn't fool Miami. Lewis Oliver, number 25, the biggest and the fastest of the Dolphin defensive backs, made the initial hit.
Lewis Oliver is one of a new breed of safety men that can come up and make a play. They're so big and so strong that he'll come flying up into the play and make the stop. You see him coming from the outside, and at 225 pounds, you see, he just can take most ball carriers and push them right back toward their own goal line. You see a lot of great guys. McMillan's like that, of course, for the Jets. Uh-oh, here's their high-five offensive formation. 4 wide receivers at the bottom of the screen.
And the throw incomplete, and wide open was number 89, Dale Dawkins.
Lewis Oliver on coverage.
O'Brien didn't have a lot of time.
Well, the problem with this kind of thing, it's fun to play around with. It's fun to draw X's and O's with. But once the ball is snapped, these 4 receivers will all break in different directions. The problem is really the quarterback trying to find out which one. Is like a covey of quail moving out. Which one do I throw to? Somebody's going to be open, but he has to make his decision too quick to let them sort themselves out.
They'll not go for the field goal on 4th and a long 7. Into the wind, that would have been a tough shot.
Oh, gee.
It's going to be longer now. Brett Miller, number 72, the right tackle, misread the count, stepped back, and that'll draw 5.
They've got a wind problem, right? You can't really tell from on the field. You see
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
It's really hard to tell where the wind's going about 30 or 40 feet into the air. So when that ball hits that wind is carrying above everybody else, you really can't tell what's going to happen to it.
So Prokop will try to drift one down inside the 10-yard line. Chris Russell is the up back in case they have any fake planned. He might be involved. Wynn grabs it. And the fair catch just inside the 10-yard line by Troy Stratford, and a timeout. Miami by 7.
For a running back.
Followed by an NBC News special. From inside the 10, Marino to the tight end, Farrell Edmonds, and he has a first down at the 33-yard line. Joe Mott made the tackle.
Well, Mott was covering Edmonds all the way. Earlier in the game, Edmonds went into the flat and the ball was thrown to him. This time he goes into the flat. Now, so you see Edmonds break this way, Mott right with him. Then Edmonds will turn up the field and lose Mott, and makes an excellent play down the field. Now, meanwhile, you get a blitz from the outside from Curtis all the way. So they tried to exchange Mott for Curtis, and Mott couldn't cover Edmonds. Beautiful throw.
Gets Miami out of the hole. Leading 10-3 with 5.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Troy Stratford, the former Boston College star, is tripped up at the 35-yard line. Oh, you never trip up this guy. Let's go to NFL Live and Bob Costas.
Oh, now you're putting the pressure on me, Richard. Here's the first play from scrimmage after the opening kickoff of the second half at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and Dave Craig slings it out to Jeff Chadwick. 54 yards later, Chadwick is in the end zone for the touchdown, and Seattle has turned a 6-3 deficit into a 10-6 lead over Kansas City. Dick?
All right, Bob, and there's another plan B from the Lions producing with Seattle, Jeff Chadwick. Marino to Cooper, out of bounds with a first down at the Miami 45. James Hasty made the tackle. Hasty doesn't get a lot of calls. They usually throw the other side of the field because he is an outstanding cornerback in his third year from Washington State.
Hasty is in pretty good shape. Then he leaves his man just a little bit, and Duper's smart enough to get whipped. So again, it's that experience against a very young Hasty. These corners are really tested, but Marino can't get the ball to him today, to his receivers.
Hasty with 5 interceptions as a rookie, 5 more last year. He's on a Pro Bowl course out of Washington State. Downfield to Stratford. Almost picked off as Hasty on the coverage. And then Stratford reaching out very nearly with a fingertip catch.
Hasty on coverage.
Beautifully defense that time, Dick. They showed an 8-man front and then backed into a zone. You see people coming flying out of there, and Hasty was in position. Stratford wanted to run an out and up, thinking that Kelly was covering him, and Hasty was right there in the zone. Now that's beautifully done. The defense was masked, and it even fooled somebody like Dan Marino.
Leads the Jets in pass coverage with 10 deflections and 3 fumble recoveries. Passing down, and Marino stays on the ground to Sammy Smith out to the Jets' 49-yard line. Gerald Nichols around the ankles with a tackle. Stratford coming back after serious knee surgery last year. Now let's go to the ticker and check on other scores quickly. On third down and long, Seattle's lead cut to just 1. Nick Lowry kicked the field goals to beat the Raiders, has 3 more today. And New Orleans now big against Tampa Bay. Third down and a long 3. Underneath, complete to Stratford. First down at the 43. Travis Curtis and Michael Mays with the tackle.
Stratford has an option on that play to break in or out, and it's up to Marino to read that break. And Stratford, of course, is breaking off of the defenders that are there. Now Stratford will end up breaking inside, but he also has the option to break out according to what the defense does. Now Marino reads that right with Stratford. He'll break in, set down, and catch the ball.
Saw Tony Nathan do that so effectively many years with Miami. So the clock running 2:50 now, remaining in the third period. Marino and Miami leading 10-3. Stratford again, his 6th catch of the game, and it's close to another first down. James Hasty with a tackle.
Possibly the Dolphins have an answer to this 8-man front because they shifted Edmonds to the outside. They put Stratford in a wide receiver position in a double wing, and when they shift out, there's their tight end, here's their running back, and that's forced this defense to spread out and go into an automatic zone. You see a zone defense, and Stratford pivoting to a stop and catching it.
Another first down.
Again, they're shifting to the same thing, trying to spread that defense out.
Putting the tight end and shifting Stratford into the slot left. And Marino really pressured, just able to get that one out of his hands as Kyle Clifton, Joe Mott were right there. Clifton, 59, was a high school All-State Texas quarterback. He feels that that's really helped him in reading defenses from that middle linebacker spot.
You know, when you check on these guys' backgrounds, so many of them are, of course, the star athlete on the team, and often the quarterback. Pete Carroll.
Left third period, 2nd and 10. Marino, a little throwback, and Stratford is drilled by Eric McMillan.
Another case of beautiful defensive strategy. McMillan looked like he was going to be deep and came right up and stopped that screen, and Marino never saw it. Just a beautiful job. And Marino's going to go to his right and look back, and meanwhile McMillan has slipped inside of everybody.
Let's listen to McMillan apply the leather. Whoa, that'll make Ernie McMillan, Papa Ernie, a Pro Bowl tackle with the Cardinals. They're the only father-son Pro Bowl combination in NFL history. Ernie McMillan, the offensive tackle. Eric McMillan, a Pro Bowl safety. Incomplete again. Marino having trouble throwing as the pressure was on. Dennis Byrd and Marvin Washington surrounding the quarterback.
That ball started out nice and then just sort of did tumble end over end.
See if his arm was hit as he threw it. Might have brushed it against the blocker, Mark Dennis. Stoyanovich is going to try a 54-yard field goal. And he, with the wind at his back, certainly makeable. He has a 53-yarder this year. And last year here kicked a 59-yarder. Plenty high. Is it long enough? Yes, but wide to the right. The Jets have held. 1:02 left in the third. And nothing to be embarrassed about missing from 53 yards. Stoyanovich, all-state soccer star in Michigan, the Detroit area in high school. Just as Pat Leahy was an All-America soccer player at St. Louis University in his collegiate days. Well, with a missed field goal, the Jets get decent field position at the 36, trailing 10-3, final minute, third period. Ryan, incomplete, intercepted, picked off by McKyer, a former 49er. Drops the ball. Was he out of bounds? Apparently was. On the deflection, Tim McKyer has his third interception of the year.
McKyer was just standing there and the ball came to him. Really not a very good pass. There's a blitzer from the outside, but the ball bounces straight up in the air to McKyer, who is in the happens to be in the area.
Mark Boyd was the intended receiver, well covered.
He does fumble inbounds.
First step.
Wait, was he out of bounds when he released that ball?
I wonder if there'll be a replay on this. It's an out-of-bounds play.
Let's see if he's out of. Let's see if he was out of bounds.
I think the ball was out of there.
They'll take another look at that, we would think.
That ball, it looked as though that one angle we've had, that he lost the ball before he went out of bounds.
They are reviewing.
It's gone.
Yes,
it's gone.
That's going to be the Jets' ball, number 34. Hector's going to fall on it here. And that will be the Jets' ball, I would think. But after what we saw last week, let's hold off on that.
Well, there may have been a whistle. That's the only thing that would save them.
That is pretty
evident.
ripe evidence. And Don Shula was right there, saw it. And the way he's curling his lips, the jaws, he's called, that characteristic of Shula, can't be happy by McKyer. Just had it stripped away. Didn't tuck it to his left arm.
It's gone.
That's it. And unless when it was in the air, the Jet player, 80 Boyer, had his foot out of bounds, in which case it was a dead ball. Closing in on the time limit. This is a crucial call. It'll either be Miami at the 34-yard line with the ball, or the Jets have a first down at their own 34.
Well, the ball was clearly fumbled and never left the playing field. Now, if it hit somebody who was out of bounds,
apparently it will be the Jets' ball. That'll please this Jets crowd, who should let out a big roar when they hear the news. It's just a matter of where they're going to spot the ball. That's what the conference is about now. They're using the replay, make sure they have the ball spotted correctly. Marino with the disbelief. He gets the news. So McKyer with an interception and a high note for Miami with a 10-3 lead, and then has it stripped away, and Johnny Hector alertly fell on it when it appeared the play was over. Hector didn't take any chances. It should be the 34-yard line. That's what they're discussing. Right on the 34.
See, they've made a decision, I would think, now to go back again. Now, there's an official, Dick, that came upon the scene. Why didn't he come upon the scene earlier if he had a different view of it? They must be saying that a man whose foot was out of bounds, the ball must have hit him. But why didn't the official just come up and say that in the first place?
The play on the field was ruled. The player out of bounds. We had an inadvertent whistle.
Oh, the old
ball belongs to Miami. First down.
Oh, my. The old inadvertent whistle trick.
Why didn't they say that in the first place?
Yeah, that is upsetting. And for coaches, it must drive you crazy. If that was the case, they knew it immediately. Why did they even review it? When in doubt, inadvertent whistle. Well, Don Shula got a break there. Was right in front of the veteran headmaster of the Dolphins. So from the 34-yard line, Miami had it, lost it, gets it back again. Yep, I agree with Bruce Coslett. Thumbs down. There goes Troy Stratford all the way to the 18-yard line. You know, Bill, between the inadvertent whistle and the instant replay, maybe we could make a package and just give that to someone. There must be a needy country or a needy team or area. Just give it to someone.
Well, this is our society, sophisticated society, I guess. But why didn't the official just come up and say, I blew the whistle? I mean, that's all it would have taken, and we wouldn't even had a replay.
Meanwhile, Stratford with an outstanding run and a first down at the 19. Final seconds, third period, Miami with a 10-3 lead.
He thinks he saw the safety up in there to blitz. He's going to throw the ball.
And he does. Complete. Mark Logan back in there. It appeared that he had a bad knee injury. Rattled out of bounds, but it appears to have a first down the end of the third period. 10-3 Miami. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh.
I swear, Dick, I swear, I can't believe that, man.
It's, I think the instant replay has just created more problems than it is resolved.
They had a chance to clarify something, but why would a man who blew the whistle wait until all that process is completed, then come up and say, I blew the whistle?
Because I think the instant replay has really taken some of the decisiveness away from officials on the field.
Well, at this point, I can't argue.
Meanwhile, Miami is going to take advantage. They're well into field goal range with a 10-3 lead. Start of the fourth quarter. Play clock down to 2 as Marino throws to Stratford. And Stratford all the way to the 2-yard line. James Hasty with a tackle, and Stratford's become the big play man in the short game of Dan Marino here in the second half. That's his 7th reception. Make that 8.
Marino's taken advantage of an automatic defense. The Jets faked the blitz, then rotated into a zone defense when Marino audibled, but in doing so, they let Stratford open on the sideline. So it was a beautiful job by Marino and an excellent audible. The Jets, I'm sure, are sort of in a stupor right now after what just happened.
That ties Stratford's career high with 8 catches. He comes out. Logan is in, and they split Logan out to the right. First and goal. And Tony Page, who has a touchdown with a catch, plowing up the middle, but not for much. He said he's a 7-year guy that just feels like a rookie. Now with Miami, Tony Page, good-natured, talented radio announcer, had his own show in the Washington, D.C. area for about 3 years.
You know, he can exert himself as a leader because he feels he belongs. Previous clubs, each year he was ready to be cut. In his mind, how can you be a leader when you're not even sure you're going to be around?
Second and goal. Jensen now out in the slot. Timeout, Marino. Just a little over a minute played in the 4th quarter. Miami trying to add to a 7-point lead.
He blew a whistle not knowing where the ball was.
The line judge whistling it dead, and Bruce Coslett's team giving up one easy score when they had a punt hit a Jets player's leg at the 6-yard line. Don Shula's team punching that one in, and now it is second and goal at the 2. Same formation, Jensen in the slot. And the give the other way to Logan. Fights off a tackle, fumble, but recovered at the 1-yard line.
A year ago, Dick, we were here to do the Jet-Buffalo game. What a difference in the New York Jets this year. Look at the character this team is starting to develop. With all the bad breaks they've had and the miscues, to hang in there the way they are. A year ago, they were just a waste of time.
Roy Foster has come in and will play a tight end, so they're announcing he is an eligible receiver, number 61.
Well, by all rights, this should be Baxter over the top with just inches to go.
It's Page and Logan. Logan hit and squirms in for a sound. Just didn't get in with a second effort. Mark Logan, another Plan B player acquired a year ago from the Bengals. Tony Page leading the way with a block. They had him stopped there for a moment, but with Page pushing in front of him, Logan able to follow in behind. Just got it in. That same official who called the no fumble and inadvertent whistle has the touchdown call.
Strictly second effort, because he was stopped.
Boy, that is a good effort by Logan. Played at Kentucky. And the extra point right there. Miami 17, the Jets 3. With his second touchdown of the year for the Dolphins, and a 17-3 lead, and Miami, true to its performance on this year, allowing only 3 points and a total of 130 yards to the Jets. And the defense now has a 2-touchdown lead with which to work.
You know, Dick, the question to McGuire fumble, but the pass itself that led up to that was bad. The receiver was covered. It was thrown too hard, and it just bounced right into McGuire's hands. But that's what's killing the Jets, is their passing game just isn't in sync. And it may take a year or more, I guess, to get it right.
Terrence Mathis gets out of trouble. Oh, he is quick. And down, runs into his own man at the 39-yard line, and also assisted Jarvis Williams on the tackle at the 39. Check the Xerox 10-minute ticker. Buffalo now in a runaway against Phoenix will go 8-1. Kansas City leads by 6. All these in the 4th. The Bears by a couple of touchdowns. New England hanging on as Patriots with a rare opportunity for a win this year, and New Orleans will obviously bank one against Tampa Bay, who started so well and have faltered here in the second half of the year. Jim Jensen is the injured Dolphin. Left of your screen, look for number 11, Jensen. There he is. That's really sacrificing yourself right into two players. He's okay. That's why they call him Crash.
What a neat guy. We coached him in that Senior Bowl so many years ago, and we had Neil Lomax, and everyone wanted to see Neil in the Senior Bowl. Coming out of Portland State, Neil Lomax was unproven. His first chance to play against Major League college players, so Jensen was sort of the sacrificial lamb, never got to play. But Don Shula got his rights, and here he is as a pass receiver and a special teams guy 10 years later.
12 and a half minutes to go. The Jets down by 2 touchdowns. And a looking pass, and O'Brien doesn't disappoint. Finally dumps it off to Hector, and Johnny Hector to the 42 of Miami in a burst down. Jarvis Williams the tackle.
O'Brien clearly doesn't know where to throw the ball. He stood there for 4 or 5 seconds that time. Normally he'd be sacked, but just by chance the pass rushers went to the outside. But look at all the time he's taking. Look at this, look at this. And he finally finds somebody right at the last minute. Normally that's a sack. So Ken has to get the ball off quicker. Maybe it's a new offense, but historically he's done the same thing.
Looking deep. No catch. Rob Moore was there. It appeared that Moore, outrunning the defense, had a touchdown. Jim McIyer on the coverage. Boy, Moore at 6'3", 205 with that kind of speed. Look at him go.
He can go. Now, this was a beautiful throw. As far as passing itself, O'Brien can do that. And that's a beautiful pass.
Oh, right there. You know, his long strides are deceptive. He was pulling away from McIyer.
2nd and 10.
You know, they say that's the expression, he can jump out of a building. Moore actually can. In the test, the NFL test for vertical leap, they couldn't really measure because he hit the ceiling of the building in which he was being tested.
45-inch vertical leap.
Underneath, short gain of about 5. David Briggs makes the tackle on Terrence Mathis. Mathis, the rookie from New Mexico, number 81, where he set an NCAA record 263 catches. Division I.
At the Miami 36.
Mathis has a future as the return position, the alternate receiver. And you get a guy like this in the 6th round, you've done some good scouting.
3rd and 4. Briggs with the 3rd Miami sack of the day, their 33rd of the season. Came into this weekend leading the NFL.
Ken O'Brien just holding the ball too long. Now he's just can't make up his mind what to do. Look at this. Look at this. Now he looks around and sees a pass rusher. He's been sacked so many times. It's almost like he's ready for it.
26 times this year. And there's Briggs, who's from New Jersey, Pennsauken. He's got some family and friends cheering him on here. Same neighborhood as the Taylors, John Taylor of the 49ers, and Keith Taylor, defensive end. There's another muff punt, but covered well as Stratford had trouble fielding the ball, but was saved by Jarvis Williams.
Recovery by Jarvis Williams.
Next Sunday, NFL Live starts things at 12:30, and San Diego, Kansas City will be a featured game for most of the country. Get a chance, some of you, to see high-powered Houston and Warren Moon, the top pass offense in the NFL, against the Cleveland Browns and their new coaching staff. New England, Buffalo, Jets, Indianapolis, the late game. Bob and Will and O.J. NFL Live at 12:30.
Schaffner taking over that Cleveland club and playing the run and shoot. Be mighty tough. I think all Jim Schaffner can do with Cleveland is just stabilize the situation, take away some of the anxiety.
Logan hit in the backfield, breaks the tackle of Eric McMillan, and outside where Hasty gets him out of bounds.
By Eric McMillan. Stopped by James Hasty.
Now Dan Marino, it's been a ball control offense this year for Shula, not the deep down the field Marino style that produced the big numbers in previous years. Wide receivers only 4. Remember, Mark Clayton injured, though, in the first half, has not returned. Tight end 1 and 14 throws to the running backs.
The zone defense, the wind, so Dan has gone to the people most likely to be open. That's a credit to the Jets, really. That last play, McMillan came from that safety spot and stopped the play again.
Stratford, who has been the offensive star of the second half for Miami, close to a first down. McMillan with Washington, the tackle.
Mark Dennis did a fine job of blocking Stallworth that time, as did Galbraith on the right side of the line. A little delayed draw broke to the outside, and the Jets came up the field so hard it couldn't help but make yards.
3rd and 1.
Troy Stratford, the fact he has 8 catches in this game, that isn't a surprise to Miami fans. You know, in the last 3 years, Stratford is second only to John L. Williams for running back receptions. He had 129 the last 3 years, and that was with an injury last year. Marino trying to hurry. Just does get it off. Tony Page hit. He does not make the first down. On 3rd and a yard, he loses one. Clifton and Kelly shoulder to shoulder with a tackle. So on comes Reggie Roby as we approach the 9-minute mark of the 4th quarter.
The Jets do everything well. It takes physical effort and intensity and desire. They do everything well related to that. Now, from a technical standpoint and an execution standpoint, there's still some distance from being a so-called polished football team, especially the passing game. But the effort part of it, the effort level, the organization, beautiful.
170-pound Terrence Mathis fields it at the 30. And gets about 17 on the return to the 47-yard line. And a little extracurricular. Doug Wellsand was in the midst of it for the Jets.
47 yards on
29 and others for Miami.
I'll tell you, this Mathis is a tough guy. Not only a good athlete, but look how much courage he's got running right up between people and just lowering his head, taking on those big guys.
Look who made the tackle.
On the kicker, it's number 89. Pulled a runner down with a face mask. 15 yards, first down.
Tony Martin. But with a clean tackle was 49 Tony Page. For Spazio, former University of Pittsburgh head coach where he coached Dan Marino. Rick Graff called for the penalty, and 15 yards. It'll take it to the Miami 38-yard line.
Well, time is running out, so they're going to have to get in there passing. Not a lot of confidence they can do it.
Washington and others upset with that last play. 8:31 left. To tune, and that'll be a flag as J.B. Brown, James Harold Brown from Maryland, a 12th round pick a year ago, riding tune on the play.
Brown has had a great year.
Pass interference.
The sustaining contact past the 5 yards. And that's
first down.
But Brown, a 12th round pick, Don Shula said we just kept him around on athletic ability alone. He came in without really a lot of sophistication or skills, but in 1 year they've taken this guy picked in the last round and made him a starting cornerback and a good one.
Yeah, McIyer said he's playing so well he's taken my Pro Bowl votes. From the 30th first down. Corner blitz. And right into the arms of Jeff Cross for his 10th sack of the year. Here's Jeff Cross at 272 pounds and very quick.
2nd and 20.
He's halfway blocked, Dick. I mean, it's not as though he's beating his man at the line. Cross is a fine player and the best pass rusher on the Miami team. But O'Brien's just taking too much time. You can't do that. And then the other thing Kenny's doing is taking his eye off his receivers and looking at the pass rushers. Once he does that, he's a ball carrier. He's not a quarterback anymore.
Travis Williams coming from the other side. O'Brien hesitates again and throws to Hector. And Jeff Cross and Travis Williams in on that tackle along with David Briggs. At the 36-yard line where it'll be 3rd down
4-yard gain.
and 16.
tough to call the plays. It's tough to prove. I'm not sure whatever he's got on that pad there is going to do much for him, because the timing isn't there in the passing game. Everything else, effort, concentration, response to the coach, wonderful management by Steinberg, Dick Steinberg, beautiful job of scouting, but the passing game just isn't close yet.
Deep for Rob Moore. Intercepted by Jarvis Williams. No, it's Louis Oliver. Oliver 25. And he's all the way to the 40-yard line before Freeman McNeil can spin him out of bounds. Well, they were hoping Rob Moore, with that leaping ability, could get up higher than the Miami defense, but it wasn't to be.
Moore was wide open. No question about that. But it looks as though O'Brien really can't see him. He's got the pressure on him, so he just throws it down there. You see he's open. He didn't go for the ball.
By Xerox, the document company, and by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
34-yard return by Louis Oliver with his third interception of the year. And from the 40, Miami gets 4 on first down. Troy Stratford, you think it isn't perilous to be a rookie coach? You got young players who are going to make mistakes. That's happened today for the Jets. I mean, there's just no place to hide. You've always got to be alert. They come at you from all directions.
Well, for just a second, he took his mind off what was happening in the game and protected himself.
Well, you were there.
I was there. The same kind of games. This team, the Jet team, reminds me of the 49ers in 1980, where there was real improvement, and we won some games, our share of games, but frustrating because you don't have a complete arsenal. A real void right now for the Jets in their passing game. Just an absolute void. And it'll just take time.
2nd and 6 as Marine using as much clock as he can. Stratford again trying to steal the ball. Gains 2. It'll be 3rd and 4. And to look now at our 10-minute ticker. Buffalo breezing. Still in doubt in Kansas City. Bears still lost just 1. New England going to win their 2nd of the year. Minnesota now has the win, 17-7 against the Lions. And New Orleans apparently will make it 4 and 5. Indianapolis Colts have had a stormy season again.
You know, Buffalo must be for real. All that agitation early in the year after Miami beat them, talking about Marv Levy not having enough command, all those things. They have matured that team because as of now, they're stronger every week.
Marino finds a wide open Mark Cooper and a first down at the Jets' 39-yard line. Clifton made the tackle.
Clifton made the stop.
Let's go back to the defense of Miami because that has been the story this far on this 1990 year.
It's a gain of 15 yards on the play.
Figure out the name, the Pound. Pound defense. And last year, it's a 72 and 90, the no-name defense of the unbeaten seasons of the season of Miami. Boy, they compare very favorably, don't they? Well, they haven't played the full schedule yet. We'll show you what's ahead yet for Miami. There'll be some real severe tests. Tony Page, the total package, gets about 11 and a first down. While the Jets will play very few teams that have impressive records. That won't be the case for Miami the rest of the way, including, well, there's the last 5 wins for the Dolphins. Each team, no one had a winning record at the time that the Dolphins beat them. Steelers, Jets, New England, Indianapolis, Phoenix, and that'll be true again today if they win, making it 6 in a row. But what's ahead will be a more impressive challenge, including the Monday night game. They finally sold one out after some 20 dates at Joe Robbie, so that's good news. Next Monday night will be the Raiders, and at Cleveland, at Washington, Philadelphia's there, and at Buffalo. So some acid test. Bradford. It almost appears now the Jets, who have worked hard on adrenaline and spirit, have had that taken out of them.
Starting to come unglued a little bit now. Starting to absorb the punishment and absorb the blockers. But Don Shula, with all his wisdom, has taken such a solid approach to this, and I'm sure it's threaded throughout his team. Each game get better, and now they want to capitalize on their progress. Capitalize on it, not so much stop and look back, but capitalize on where they are, because they know the tough part of the schedule is upcoming. But his hope is, and it's pretty evident, that the team's improving every week, and they can meet that competition later in the year.
So Stratford's numbers, they've recapped. He has 7 catches, not 8. Wide open is Tony Martin, and he's out of bounds just shy of the 10. Knocked out by Tony Stargell, the number 3 draft pick from Tennessee State. They know that he's been thrown into the fire right from the start, and it's been nice to have been able to save him, let him learn behind someone, but he's learning with his mistakes on the field, being tested, but they feel much like Hasty, he's going to be a solid cornerback.
You know, they should be pretty good at cornerback in the future. Hasty and Stargell, naturally seasoning by Stargell. A lot of the elements are there for the Jets.
Oh, fumble by Logan, recovered by the Jets at the 9-yard line. Logan having trouble with the handoff, and as they unpile, we'll try to get the name of the Jets player that picked it off. So the Jets will get it at their own 9-yard line with just 2:48 left. It appeared to be Joe Kelly, 58, who got the ball.
First and 10 for the Jets from their own 9.
A lot of traffic, obviously.
There's Kelly, and he picks up the free one at the 9-yard line. I want to welcome those of you watching in England on Channel 4 as you follow NFL action each week. For Bill Walsh and Dick Enberg and all our crew, we're pleased you join us. And if any of you have any ideas on a thesis, how about the inadvertent whistle as a topic? That he puts there, and London Prep will come up with some answers. Al Toon doesn't get many calls today. Does get out of bounds at the 24-yard line. His second catch. Rodney Thomas, an extra DB for Miami with the tackle. 2:41 showing. Fourth quarter, 17-3 Miami. And I guess a quick summary, Bill, see if you agree. Jets defense, good enough to be on the field with Miami. They played well. Jets offense against a good team, got some way to go.
Well, effort and intensity on defense can really make up for some deficiency. Offensively, it doesn't.
Off the back of Rodney Thomas, looked around, wondered who hit him. It was intended for Mathis.
Offensively, it takes years to get into sync. You see the San Francisco 49ers now. That's taken really 11 years of the same system of offense, same style of coaching.
Well, go back now, first year, second year, third. When did you finally realize, hey, we're now a playoff team?
About midway or 2/3 of the way through our 3rd year, because the first 2 we had losing records, but about 2/3 of the way through that 3rd year, we went, uh-oh, we're not bad.
Coon, short yardage. And pays for it. Lippert, Hobley, and Terry Glenn. 3rd down and about 4. O'Brien with a hurry up, hoping he might strike for something, but of course the Dolphins simply go the same way. They're not going to allow the deep when they got 3 men way back. And another sack for Griggs. He has 2.5 sacks today. He's from Virginia, where he played with Jeff Lageman with the Cavaliers. Lageman, the starting defensive end for the Jets.
What a transition between the 2 games, the Giant game and this one. That's E.J. Jr., I believe.
And he's holding a knee, and that's been the bad news for Miami. Mark Clayton, a knee injury, has not returned. Junior now holding a knee. Logan went out with a knee problem. O'Brien almost intercepted. There was Mathis, and so was McKyer. And Miami takes over on down.
Well, Don Shula has a team. Where do you think they are, Dick, compared to the AFC?
Well, I think no question they're in the top 4 or 5 teams in the division. It's just going to be interesting to see how he matches up. When he's lost to the Giants, their only loss. Now he's got to play those other tough customers in the NFC East, Philadelphia and Washington, and go to Buffalo for the rematch. And Buffalo staying with him stride for stride. They'll both be 8-1 after today.
Well, I think Miami's so close now. I think weather conditions will have a lot to do with them, with anybody. They'll play very well in bad weather, but they're going to have Marino's passing, I think, to finally win a championship. And, of course, weather has a factor is a real factor with that.
Brown, Logan by Travis Curtis. 147, and the Jets will spend a timeout, so they're looking at the scoreboard with their hearts. There's Tim McKyer, who has an interception and almost another today, and with that timeout, let's pause for this word.
Whenever my brother Tom and his
I think is the greatest of all time, but Namath, just beautiful to watch.
He and Don Maynard, his receiver, the retired numbers here, the Jets, along with salute to Weave Eubank, the coach. Corey Stratford, no one tackling him yet, and finally they gang up at about the 12-yard line. Little guy tough to bring down at 195. McMillan was there first. Well, the Bills, Stratford said, "Oh, you big guys picking on me." And
New York.
Jets will spend another timeout, surprisingly.
One Top Motor Oil announces One Top Guarantee.
Ask your participating service center about Quaker State's top lubrication guarantee.
250,000 miles or 10 years. Register your new car absolutely free at a participating service center. Use only Quaker State. Have oil and filter changed as directed at a service center, and if any lubricated engine part suffers an oil-related breakdown,
You're covered. Quaker State guarantees it in writing.
the big Q
is but Buffalo, with an overwhelming lead against Phoenix, their 7th in a row. They only lost to Miami, so Miami with that victory, that's the difference in the division. But Buffalo and Rich Stadium will host Miami the second week before the end of the season. The Jets will go 4-6 in their hopes of 5-5 dashed a bit, but a schedule ahead that should provide the Jets with more wins. And the smiles are big, and the turquoise or aquamarine blue and orange of Miami. NFL Live standing by. They'll have all the highlights of this day, all the standings and news, so stay with us right after the final gun. Tony Page came back to haunt his former teammates, the Jets, with his blocking primarily, and you don't often get a chance to really credit the man in front of the ball. Karen Page is so good.
In the past few years, the Dolphins haven't had a blocking back, really, a guy that would pay the price. This guy's naturally suited for everything they do. A pass protector, a receiver, beautiful run blocker, can block the linebackers and give them leadership. You know, just outgoing leadership, enthusiasm.
You know, in the Washington area, he was on the same high school team with Mike Johnson, the linebacker with Cleveland, and Steve Smith, the running back with the Raiders, was a backup. What a high school team. Well, another timeout, and that'll be all for the Jets. Well, the determination of youth, they're not going to knuckle under until that final
might cost him a touchdown. No question Don Shula is calling inside running plays and letting the time go, but the Jets won't let him do it.
So look at the other scores. All late. Two finals now. New Orleans and Detroit have won, and now a final. Indianapolis defeats New England. So the Colts in the fourth quarter score to go 3-6, and New England now at dismal 1-8.
That is bad.
So the AFC East pretty well determined now as 2 8-1s. Buffalo and Miami. Jets 4-6. Indianapolis 3-6, and New England 1-8.
Oh, they're just going to sit on the ball now. Before we hang up for the day, I just want to give my love to Dorothy Shula, what a special person. And she's got a heck of a husband too.
Well, they both have gone through that fight, and Don, who goes to Mass every morning. Every morning he starts his day at Catholic Mass.
This is the ultimate football coach, Dick. This man has everything. He and Vince Lombardi would have to be considered in any era the very, very best ever. And the enthusiasm he has, even when his team wasn't very good in recent years.
Peter Richmond in the National had an interesting feature on Shula this week, and he said he has a face that belonged to football's Rushmore. Against the Hall of Fame coaches, there's Shula's record. He deserves to be in that list, doesn't he?
Oh, he's right on the top, or right with Lombardi to me at the top. Of course, different eras. Paul Brown certainly, and any number of others.
1:26 to go.
In my lifetime, this is the man that I've had the most respect for in football.
You know, when you talk to players, those who played for him with Miami and with the Colts, and those who played on a Pro Bowl team with him say, boy, what an experience just to be around him. Well, let's have we got a little time here. Best record against, this is the 111th coach, Coslett, that he has coached against. His best record, 12-1. His worst, 0-6. Kind of surprising who those are. Best record against a Hall of Famer, Norm Van Brocklin. His worst record was unable to beat Tom Flores and the Raiders, 0-6.
Well, you add it all up, and you look at how he's covered generations of football with the same enthusiasm, and he adapted from a running game to a passing game, now back to a running game, and very few coaches have ever been able to bridge those gaps.
Now there's the final play of the game on the kneel down by Dan Marino, and Bruce Coslett will go back to work. His young team played hard and determined, but they also made mistakes today, and that led to a 17-3 Miami win, as the Jets could not dent the NFL's #1 defense.
Well, Bruce shaking hands with Shula would be the start of his career, in a sense.
He's now in the big leagues when you shake that
right.
hand.
He's got to just have patience with his team. I think he'll do that, but he has to have patience with the press, Dick.